Howdy and hello, I am Seattle's one and only Glamazon goddess and queen of the pigs, IsabellaExtynn, and welcome to another episode of The Race is On. Welcome on back, thanks for stopping in for this week's review of Season 12, RuUnited, and it feels so good. We are reviewing Alone Together, the reunion episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. Because of social distancing and Miss Coronavirus, they had to do the reunion through Zoom, just like we're doing this show. But before we get to all of this and talk some tea about this reunion, I want to introduce my very special guest this week. I'm so excited to have her on the show. She is Seattle's premier very nice lady. Please welcome Jane Don't.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. You know, she kicking.
Yeah, same. You know, we're living it up in quarantine.
I'll tell you what is really getting to me right now for quarantine. My poppers have worn out. And I'm starting to look on the internet for like some black market poppers or something. I don't know.
I'm so glad that you brought this up because I really do think this is an issue that's absolutely that's hurting our community, that we as a community are facing. I too have stale poppers, and you know, I think in this time it's really important that we come together and that we support one another. My friend did just get some from Double Scorpio, so I know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And you best believe I'm going to be using my unemployment money to buy wigs and new poppers.
Oh yeah, I am using that Donald Trump stimulus check, and I'm going to buy me a wig and a costume and some poppers and maybe a new dildo. I don't know. We'll see.
100%. Should I be saving for the future? Perhaps. Is there also a sale on the Morphe store site-wide? Also perhaps, you know, so we got to do the math, carry the one there.
Have you been doing any digital shows during quarantine?
Yeah, I have been doing some digital shows. My good sis Rowan Ruthless has been doing her Crybaby show that I'm in the like core cast for, and I've been doing that. I've done
and the hosting Drag Race.
Yeah, we're hosting Drag Race on Zoom. Eucalyptic and I are doing that every Friday. We're gonna keep doing that for All Stars too, which is
Perfect.
So we're doing Crybaby on the 11th. And I believe we're working on moving it over to the Cremwork Twitch.
Cool. I want to make sure that all of the viewers go and follow your social media accounts. So make sure you go follow Jane Don't on Instagram at janedon't.jpg and show Jane a little love on Venmo at Jane Don't. Feel free to tip me at my Venmo or my CashApp. It is really appreciated. Also, follow me on all my social media accounts at IsabellaExtynn. And subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. Hit that red subscribe button and then ding that bell to get notifications on everything happening on my channel. But we were just chatting with all the girls from this season, minus one.
She who shall not be named.
Oh, God. And they've made some great jokes about old apple fritter.
yeah, Mama Bunk Cake. I was impressed by how ballsy some of the girls were about mentioning her. I don't know how Ru felt about all of that.
Well, Ru has had a tough year. 2020 was looking great. The new season was coming. AG and the Queen was out. You know, everything was looking good. And then, all of a sudden, Sherry Pie's a predator, and AG and the Queen gets canceled. And then coronavirus hits, and then all those meddling kids found out that she was fracking on a ranch.
I know, she's the ExxonMobil of drag. Yeah. Who would have thunk? Can I ask the question on everybody's lips? What did you think of RuPaul's look for this episode?
Okay, I love to talk about this. This has been
it's like, whoa.
The moment that everybody is freaking out about online. There was, before the episode ever aired, there was all the gifs of like, oh, what's RuPaul going to do if she has to do her own makeup, and showing what she looked like back on Project Runway. And here's my whole thing. At the traditional reunions, Ru has never been in drag for any of them. Ru's usually wearing a suit. The theme was slumber party. And so he wore like a hoodie and a mask. And I've seen so many people try to call it a beauty mask. And I'm like, why don't people know what fetish gear is? Because that's a fetish mask. It's made by Slick It Up. Like, she was wearing a fetish mask to a slumber party.
Okay.
It makes sense.
You know.
The hoodie doesn't make sense. She should have been in, like, a full rubber suit. That would have been hilarious if they log in for the slumber party and RuPaul is in a full fetish rubber suit.
See, that's okay. I hear you, and I hear what you're saying, and I didn't get that joke, and now hearing you say it, I do get that. But that's my thing, is I think it needed to be a little bit more like overt, because to me it was just like she was wearing a luchador mask and that one American Apparel hoodie that like every gay had in 2009. You know what I mean? Like, it was very that.
Yeah. And she's been very transparent about the fact that there are other people that create and maintain her aesthetic.
No, to be sure. She has been very transparent from the beginning that when she wanted to like go mainstream, that she went to Matthew and Zaldi and was like, turn me into a glamazon. Yeah.
And I'm sure that several of the queens were like putting together like designer custom pieces for the reunion episode. And then this all happened and they got the call that we're doing it on Zoom and it's going to be a slumber party. And so they had to like throw some new looks together for it.
You got to feel for the girls, because you know that some of them had things that they had been planning for like months and probably spent a lot of money on.
We'll start with Jan. And she had in her rollers, and she was wearing the robe that was all the pictures of her face crack from the season. I loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was funny.
It was like meme of the season. And she leaned into it. And like she said, she's, going to capitalize on it.
I mean, look, I think that the real lesson of RuPaul's Drag Race, it's something that I've heard Trixie and Kimchi and them all say, is like, the race really begins after the show is over. And it's like, you gotta take what you are given. And in Jan's case, that was a lot of safe and a gnarly face crack. And I also loved the line where she was like, my boyfriend and I are trying to do one thing that makes us smile every day. And I was like, so...
Sex.
You're so sex? Right. You know what I mean? Like, really, what do you do? What do you... eating Skittles? Like, what do you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the next one was Nicki Doll. I didn't really like her look. It was really boring. She kind of looked like she just wrapped some fabric on and was in like a fabric toga.
She posted a picture of the full look on Instagram, and I liked it so much more when you could see the whole thing. But I think that I saw the
picture, but I still just don't love it.
I think it was simple. I think it was really pretty. I do think it was simple. I do think that she didn't think enough about like how everything was going to be framed. So the outfit needs to be impactful from here up.
Yeah, the drama was in the slit up the leg, and the
100%.
legs never showed. Also with Nicki, like, girl, stage your apartment. You got a frame that you're in. Make sure that what's behind you looks good. It was like a ratty couch and...
I mean, whoops. I can't read a girl for staging right now. I'm in my randy ass drag room with Texas's wigs hanging behind me. So, but I'm also not on Drag Race. So it really felt like she was about to turn the webcam off and go to Whole Foods. Like, that was the vibe.
Yeah.
She was ready to go at any moment. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my Instacart order is here. Like, peace out, y'all."
Yeah. If I was doing the reunion like that, I would stage my background with a lot of little Easter eggs hidden in it. Like, there'd be a little dildo hidden somewhere, and there'd be just little Easter eggs.
You love a hidden dildo.
I love a hidden dildo. Okay, I can't get enough of it.
You love it. It's a running gag.
I tell you what, wait for this Friday night. There's another hidden dildo. It's not hidden,
It's
though.
well,
It's right out
the
there.
last one wasn't really hidden either.
When they're the size of the ones I buy, they're not.
Well, ooh, hard to hide them.
Well, I mean, I can hide them pretty easily, but...
Certainly.
The next one was Jackie, and I thought she looked beautiful. Her robe that she was wearing, it was all very, like, vintage Jackie. She looked so good, and her apartment behind her looked beautiful, and it's exactly what I expected Jackie's apartment to look like.
It was very sophisticated.
Rich mahoganies.
100. She has many leather-bound books.
Mm-hmm. She looked beautiful in this episode.
She did look beautiful. Yeah, she's a woman of means. She really came to the show with, like, she said, all of New York is behind me. She was really the New York girl. Hugh Britta. All of her costumes were Mondo. Bobby Pins did, like, all of her wigs. Mm-hmm. She had one of her merch items was, like, her glasses. You could, like, buy those. Like, I was like, who is this, like, woman? Like,
that's so smart, though.
She's a businesswoman. She really is.
Lady. Okay, so Britta was next, and so her look, that pink ruffly thing, all I could picture the whole time, every time I saw it, was, you know, when you tuck and, like, your ball sack kind of sticks out the side a little bit.
It was giving you bubble gum?
Yeah.
I actually thought it was kind of cute.
I mean, I thought it was cute, but I was still getting bubble gum from it. I didn't say I don't like bubble gum.
That's fair. Okay.
I love testicles.
Don't get that idea. Don't get that idea, viewers. I know she did say on Instagram that that they had to scramble for that look, so I do think that was a last minute look, but I thought it was cute. I think for something that she pulled together last minute, I was like,
absolutely, and it did have impact for the screen right here. And then Dalia was next, and Dalia was definitely not in theme for it. That outfit,
not at all.
That was her reunion outfit. That's what she has been planning for the reunion. I follow that wig designer that made that wig, and that wig was made like 5 months ago.
So she just literally was like, I paid money for this and I'm wearing it. Yeah. Which, honestly, I kind of live for. I say go off. And that hair was stunning.
It was amazing. It was gorgeous. And I also loved her eye makeup.
Girl, I'm out here, like, spackling my face, like, just full cream cheese icing. And she's literally, like, has, like, just a whisper of, like, a blush on. I mean, but you know what? That's what being beautiful is like. And I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that life, so.
And her being like, I'm just good with my marijuana.
100. I really think that Ru was, like, a little taken aback. I genuinely think she was kind of like...
It was legal in LA when I bought it.
She was funny. She was really... it was a good showing for Dalia, given her accent.
It really was. And the next one was Miss Aiden Zane. And she is quarantining in the Museum of Pussycat Wigs.
Okay. Look, I am going to go on record and say that I think Aiden Zane was done dirty this season in a number of ways. And the wig heads with all of her Pussycat wigs was so funny.
That was hilarious to me. I don't think she utilized the joke very well. Because, like, when Ru asked her, how come if you have multiple personalities, do you only wear one wig? And she was like, yeah, the girls say you only wear one wig, but I've got Pussycat wigs on stock, so, you know, like, they're fresh. It wasn't funny. Like, you didn't lean into the joke. You should have went for the joke there.
I did think her makeup looked beautiful. I loved her eyeshadow. That kind of, like, corally, like, color, I thought was really beautiful.
Everything. I love a color story like that.
No, I did too. I think she looked really pretty. I loved that hair. Overall, I do think that Aiden was probably not ready to be on the show, but I also think that being a bedroom queen who was working at, like, an IHOP and then getting on Drag Race, I think is quite impressive. I think there are girls that have been doing drag a lot longer than she has at a higher level who haven't lasted as long as she did. So,
and there's girls who have lasted longer who haven't made as big of an impact as her.
100%.
So the next one was Miss Heidi and Closet, and she is keeping her name, and I am proud of her.
With Heidi, I didn't mind the name at all, and also I was just the whole time I was like, RuPaul, leave her
Yeah,
alone.
but by the time we all fell in love with her and it was a whole thing, it was like, no, you keep that name.
You are like a lovable goof with a heart of gold and a bad name. That's the gig. Yeah.
Her outfit was really cute with the little matching bow and the little like kind of A-line dress she was wearing. She looked really adorable, and her makeup looked stunning.
She had one of my favorite looks of the night, and also I think won my award for like most improved.
Absolutely.
Talk about staging too. She had a whole tier 1 like setup in there.
She went to World Market and
yeah, girl. So very like what a girl from the country would be like. Let me set this up real nice.
Yeah.
Like
Crystal Method. We're on to my favorite.
Was she your favorite look of the night?
She's my favorite look of the night. She's my favorite of the season. She's my favorite.
I loved Crystal's look. I really loved it.
I loved it so much. I thought it was so funny to do like the Ebenezer Scrooge thing, and she held the candle the whole time. It was so funny. The makeup was amazing on it. Like her old age makeup was so good.
One thing I will say about Crystal that I think is hilarious is I think that this storyline of her like fixing her makeup or whatever is like so funny, because from the jump I was like, oh, she's clearly really good at makeup. Yeah. Something I really, really, really appreciate about Crystal. It's cool to see somebody working on a budget. You know, so many of her outfits were clearly like thrift store things that she'd pieced together. And also to do it so skillfully. Like she looked really impeccably styled. Those were some of my
favorite outfits. Mm-hmm. The Stars and Stripes one
was incredible.
So beautiful, and that was completely thrifted. One, it really put her stamp on everything that she did.
One thing I will really say about this top 3 are so involved in their drag, and I think have a really a respect for the craftsmanship of drag and for the traditions of like learning how to sew, learning how to you know, at least kind of style wigs, learning, you know, being able to design and execute a full look themselves. I think that's really admirable.
Ingenuity and self-reliability that comes with drag that I really love seeing in this top 3.
100%.
Let's talk about Widow. Widow looked really cute. I liked her look. I liked that she had the curlers in. I hated where she set herself up to record, though. So much vertical blinds. I was like, put up some curtains or something.
I didn't even really notice. I really, really like Widow. I will fully confess to being just like a little bit biased, and I really like her. I think she went home too soon. I would have loved to have seen her just stick around for a little bit longer. So
I think the double save should have happened with her and Jackie. Instead of the next week.
Yes, I completely agree. She really was like the Greek chorus figure a lot of the time for me, where I was like, she would say exactly what I was thinking.
One thing that I was kind of like, girls, you got to be thinking about this stuff. And they like gave her a perfect opportunity to plug it, and it was like, yeah, I'm that bitch. And then Aiden was like, bitch, she might be. Like, hey, remember, plug your song.
Well, and then Britta, I think, said it again later, too. Yeah. Like, there were multiple moments where people referenced her song, and she was just like, uh-huh.
Yeah. I was like, girl, you got to take your opportunities to, you know, build your brand and get your coin. That's what the show is all about. She looked good. Her face always looks amazing.
Yeah, her makeup's really beautiful.
But, girl, put up some curtains. You look like you're living in a college dorm. Gigi is next. I loved her look. Loved
that. I came into this season, I think, prepared to find her a little bit of like a repetition of some things we've seen before. I think, you know, I've seen people comparing her to like Aquaria and Violet, other kind of like young, thin white fashion girls. And I was kind of prepared to like do the same. But she has consistently delivered some of my favorite looks that have ever been on the show, honestly.
And some of my favorite moments, too.
Yeah. Gigi's one of the girls on the front of sewing patterns, like one of those like Butterick like girls that's like impossibly sort of like posed or whatever. I've always been enamored of those like girls on the front of sewing patterns. I really do think that that's exactly what her drag is. She looks like one of those illustrations. I follow her mom on Instagram, and her mom shows the like behind the scenes and the kind of step-by-step of how they make some of her looks. And that look was adapted from a pattern that she, like an out of print pattern that her mom had for like 80s pajamas. I loved it. I thought it was really, really great.
She also had a little pillow that was out of the same fabric too.
Pillow.
Yeah. The next one was Rock M. Sakura. She looked all right. I didn't love her look. It was fine.
Yeah, I really liked Rock a lot, and I felt really, that was an elimination that I felt really strongly should have gone the other way.
Me too.
But I have to be honest and say that her aesthetic for me kind of never really hits super hard.
One thing that I found really distracting, and I'm not sure if this was on purpose or if this was an accident, but she had a pair of glasses like sitting up on her wig.
That was actually my favorite part of the whole look.
Next was Miss Jada Essence Hall. The last one, looking absolutely amazing. She was in a Victor and Rolf inspired look.
It was so cute. She and Gigi and Heidi were probably my 3 top like looks of the night.
I also think she got kind of drunk during the filming of it too.
I kind of thought so too. I think that towards the end, I was like, oh, I think she's a little lit. I think Mama had a juice.
Yeah, she was sipping on her glass of wine there, and I think she got a little turned up.
And we love to see it, honestly. That's the kind of spontaneity I live for at a reunion.
Mm-hmm. Watching the episode, it seemed like all of the drama that they kind of had during the season has already been worked out like months ago. Like they called
100%.
each other after filming and they worked out their business. And so now there was like some like produced forced drama trying to happen within this episode. The producers were like, okay, have this little fight. And they're like, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't like this in this moment, but still love you, girl. We're good.
Yeah, 100%. But it's fine. I don't hold grudges.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sherry pie stuff happening, and now with coronavirus and stuff, I am sure that this group of girls is like bonded for life now, just through shared trauma.
Well, and I mean, they really had a pretty unfair hand dealt to them. Oh, I want to mention Lisa Rinna showing up. That was really cute.
It was cute, but it was also so, I was like,
so weird.
Sometimes the celebrity cameos that they cram into the reunions, it was just so bizarre that was the one.
Well, and so the thing is Lisa Rinna probably reached out to them because she tweeted so much about the Snatch Game and stuff. Like, she loved it.
Look, she was probably like 3 Pinots deep at that point.
I love that Jan had a shade button.
It's such a theater kid thing. Like, you can tell she's such a like musical theater kid where it's like, you know, that thing of like, I'm doing something funny and I can tell you're watching me, but I'm not going to like acknowledge that you're watching me. Like, there were so many moments with her where it was clearly like looking at the camera. Like, you're just like, all right, Jan,
she was making
it.
faces. She was like overreacting.
Really mug it, 100%.
Right before that call, she said, acting is reacting. When they brought up all the girls saying Nicki's name, that she should go home, Nicki seemed a little pressed about it still.
She was still plucked, clearly.
She was like, well, why didn't you say Britta's name? And in my head, and like sitting at home, I was like, because Britta wasn't as bad as you.
And it was a moment where I was really like, thank you, Heidi, for being the one girl to speak with integrity in that moment. I lived for Heidi just being like, yeah, I mean, I said your name because I thought you did the worst, and I would say it again.
Yeah. I thought that Britta's apology to Aiden and their conversation was really nice, and I really liked that they gave Jan and Jackie an opportunity to like say, you know, things about the Britta that they know that's their friend, because the internet has gone real crazy on Britta.
This is one of those things for me that's like the like shadow side of the show, and we've all had bad moments. We've all had fits. We've all thrown tantrums, and we are all just lucky enough that when that happens, when we throw a tantrum in the dressing room, the only people that see are, you know, the 6 other girls in the show.
Yeah.
When you're on Drag Race and you throw a tantrum, the whole world sees, and you get, you know, you get trapped in amber as this like angry, bitter person, when in reality it's like, you know, girl had a bad month. I think Britta handled it exactly the way that she needed to handle it, which is just own up to it. You know, when you veer off track in Drag Race, but also in like life and in drag in general, is when you start paying more attention to other people and what they're doing than you do to yourself. Oh my gosh! Also, the somebody made a Folsom joke.
Right? No, that was about Britta.
Well, no, but I think it was Jackie was like,
we'll be rocking that. Oh, we'll be rocking that.
Yeah, she was like Britta and I will be rocking it down at Folsom or whatever next year. And
I didn't even catch that was like a joke towards rock, but that's so funny. I'm glad you told me that.
That was the thing that was fun about this reunion was, again, I just think that they all felt a little bit more free to be like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge about things, because, you know, the producers can't stop them.
Yeah. We have now reached our episode wrap-up. It's time for the gift, the gag, and the goop. The gift is your favorite moment from the episode, or the season, since we're doing the reunion. The gag is the most shocking moment, and the goop is the shadiest moment. So what was your gift for this episode?
It was the Britta read to Dalia about her coming in 13th on a season with 12 girls.
Yeah.
It was a breathtaking piece of comedy.
My gift was when Crystal's light went out and she had to light her candle. Like I said, I wanted her to be all in candlelight. That would have been so funny. No.
Full Ebenezer.
So what was your gag for the episode? The most shocking part?
My gag was Ru's look.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on this. I don't know. I just was like, I get the joke now that you've explained it, but for me, I was just like, what?
Well, it takes too much explanation for too many people. My gag for the episode was when Ru announced that at the finale next week, there's going to be 5 different lip syncs.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't even know, like, how that lines up quite right. Last one, what was your goop for the episode? The shadiest part.
I mean, honestly, the shadiest part was probably just Nicki still seeming like weirdly plucked about people saying her name.
I have 2 like shady spots that I really liked that are more like joke shady. In the very opening song, when they were singing, they were like, "We're just 13 girls," and then it cuts to Jada, and she's like, "Well, actually, only 12."
Yeah, that was.
And then my other one was during the reading portion when Crystal was like, "Hey Jan, do you have a condom? I know you're always safe."
That was also the reading portion was really good this time.
Last question. Whose team are you on? Who do you want to win?
You know, I mean, the reality is that like I said, I am such a fan of this top 3. I think they're one of the strongest top 3s in several seasons. So I would be okay with any of them winning, honestly. I will not be mad at any of them winning. But I in my heart of hearts, I think Jada is just, you know, I think that she was born to wear a crown.
I agree that all 3 are absolutely deserving. I'm happy with all 3 of them winning, but I'm Team Crystal. I love my weirdo. I want to make sure that everybody goes and follows your social media accounts. Instagram at janedon't.jpg and show Jane a little love on Venmo at janedon't. I want to thank you so much for joining me today and talking about the reunion, a little review of a review. You know.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we both psychically linked on our big old bumps.
Yeah, big bumps, big bangs, you know.
You got to get some kind of bump in quarantine, you know what I mean?
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to tip me at my Venmo or my Cash App. It is really appreciated. Also, follow me on all my social media accounts at IsabellaExtynn. And subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. Hit that red subscribe button and then ding that bell to get notifications on everything happening on my channel. I'll be back next week with a brand new guest reviewing the season finale of Season 12, where we are crowning a winner, baby. So come on back and see what we have to say about all that. I'll see y'all real soon.